Alright, welcome back, brush monkeys, and this week we are shade washing our zombie T-Rex. As you remember, last week we got all the base coats put down on it, and this week we're putting down the shade wash. I'm going to do basically 2 shade washes on this thing. It's going to be pretty quick and simple. I'm using Druky Violet for the inside of the mouth. You see how pink that is? I'm going to tone that down a little bit with the Druky Violet. And then the other one, I'm using the this is actually Army Painter Quick Shade. This is the same strong tone stuff that I used on the Normans a few months back. You might remember. I put it in these little jars. I've got 2 of these jars because I was running out of the stuff, and it didn't need to be in the big can that wasn't sealing right anyway. I was losing it to drying out, so went ahead and put it in these little jars. Makes it a little easier to work with. And you'll notice I also textured the base for them already. Put this Lustrian Undergrowth texture on there, and that's because this entire base is going to get a wash of the Army Painter Quick Shade. So I wanted to have that Lustrian Undergrowth on there before I got started. So we're going to take, for the inside of the mouth, I'm just going to use this little, it's essentially an Army Painter brush, but it's from the Nolzur's brush line for Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just a base coat brush. And I'm sure you all know how shade washes work by now. We just take a little bit of the shade wash and just wash it all over. All over inside the mouth, all over the tongue. Over the back of the throat. Don't be scared of this stuff. Use a lot of it. it's not that expensive, and it'll make a big difference. You're basically just going to mop it all over the surface that you're shade washing. And just like that, our Tyrannosaurus has still a beast mouth purple inner mouth, but it's now shade washed with the purple, the Druky Violet, and it's looking all spiffy. So to do the quick shade wash, we're going to do it kind of the same way, but I'm using bigger brushes. I've got a couple of like really big brushes here with fairly soft bristles, so it'll go by a little faster. I also have this little device, and I might have mentioned this before in a video, but basically all this is a battery-powered stirring stick. Runs off a AA battery inside there. I got this off of Micromark, and you just put a AA battery in it, put that down inside there, and push the little button and it stirs. And so really thick stuff like this that may or may not have settled, you can put the stir in there. It's just like the bigger paint stirrers that you see at like Lowe's and Home Depot, but it's a miniaturized version for miniature paints. And then you just rinse it off in there and you're good. So we're going to go ahead and do the base here, and then I'm going to turn the camera off and do the Tyrannosaurus. Again, you just kind of slop it all over. Now the Army Painter stuff, because of what it's made out of, it's actually not acrylic based, it's sort of oil based. Needs to be thinned and washed with turpentine. You saw me just rinse off the stir in the water, and that will work fine for that, but for brushes you're really going to want to clean them out in turpentine, because otherwise it's not going to remove it all, and it's not going to remove it all from the stirrer either. but the stir is a solid piece, and if it ends up with little crusted on there, it's not going to affect anything. But in the brush, it's going to solidify up and really get nasty if you leave it in there. So, like I said, I'm doing this all over the rock, all over the ground. Now, this stuff works out really nicely. It looks really good when it's done. It looks really nice and shaded and dirty, and really looks like you're mopping mud onto this thing. And it's going to look really good on the Tyrannosaurus when you look. It's going to look like he dug himself up out of the ground. But the downside is this stuff can take up to 48 hours to fully cure before you could do anything else with it. So you end up having to set it aside for a few days to let it fully set up. Get all that off, all that excess off of there. There we go. So there you go. It's all dirty and nasty. It's basically like a really thick Nuln oil kind of thing, really. So yeah, so that's the base, and then like I said, we're going to do this on the Tyrannosaurus too. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the camera and go do that, and then we'll come back and show you what it looks like, and then we'll let it dry for a couple of days and then show you the finished thing. Alright, so I'm going to shut off here, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, so we're back, and I've got the T-Rex and its base all shade washed with the Army Painter Quick Shade Strong Tone, and you can kind of see what a difference it's made already on the bones along its back, and if you can see its ribs there a little bit on the side, and the muscles darkened pretty much everything and kind of giving a sort of dirty look to it too, which is cool. It makes it look fresh out of the ground. So the next step now that this is applied is I got to leave it sit here for 48 hours. I'm recording this on a Sunday morning, so I'll give it till probably Tuesday, give it the rest of today and tomorrow, and then Tuesday morning I'll hit it again and see what it looks like and show you all what it looks like. And then that's pretty much all that's required with the shade washing. It's a pretty straightforward process. Once it sets up and I can do that segment of the video, then we're going to call it done, and the next video will be highlighting and detailing, and that's where we'll go back over things like the teeth and the bones, maybe a little bit of the muscles, and kind of bring back out that deep red again. And then we'll dry brush the base with some Niblet green and dry brush the rock with some Dawnstone, and yeah, kind of figure out, oh well, do the eye. We'll put the cataract on the eyeball, see how that looks. So yeah, just not that much left to do on this guy, and he's going to be pretty spiffy. He's looking pretty ugly. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'll see you guys in a couple days. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, we're back, and as you can see, the shade wash is really glossy, but that'll get knocked back with the Army Painter. But I just wanted to wrap up the shade wash video and show you how this has gotten him looking all... It's got all those details, little wrinkles and whatnot in the skin popping out. It's got the muscles dulled down, and it's got the inside of his mouth looking all nice and dark purple. So he's looking really good. I really like how he turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video for the shade washes, and the next video we'll get into the highlights. So thanks for watching. I will see you next week. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom from Flying Monkey Studios here. If you like what you see, click like down below. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more and want to be notified when new videos come out. Check out the links in the video description for links to our Patreon page and our Instagram, so you can see all the different ways that you can support me in doing what I do, and get your hands on some of these miniatures that I've painted if you want one of your own. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook if you want to see updates and see when new videos get posted. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.